What's up, everybody? It's Young here, and welcome to a Metal Gear Solid 5 First Impressions video. So, a few things I want to get out of the way. First of all, I am exhausted. I am on my way to LA for E3 2015, and my flight has been delayed by 3 hours, and it's just been a long day. So, if I jumble my words, if I mumble like an idiot, forgive me, but it's been a really long day, and I'm still just trying to get to LA. But while the flight is delayed, I figured, hey, might as well do a Metal Gear Solid 5 impressions video, because why not? The E3 2015 trailer, I mean, that was absolutely amazing. Kojima delivered once again with an awesome trailer, and I just want to kind of talk about it for a bit. So, first things first, it's a very vague trailer if you ask me, so if I get a lot of things wrong, if my opinions differ from yours, or if I say something stupid that doesn't make any sense, just understand that I haven't analyzed the trailer. I watched it maybe once or twice, and I'm just kind of saying stuff that I noticed based on what I saw in those first few views, so to speak. So just hold on to your horses. Wait until the full analysis is released before you make a judgment on my analytical skills or whatever. Right now, I'm just giving my first impressions, just a few notes in terms of what I noticed. So let's dive right into it. And again, because this is so vague, it's just kind of hard to tell you exactly what is happening, because there's so many things here that makes you wonder. That make you wonder what is happening, how is this possible, stuff like that. So the trailer begins with a massacred Diamond Dog's base of sorts. I'm not sure if that's Mother Base or if it's some other installation, some extension of Diamond Dogs that we might not know about. But with Mother Base being such an important system in Phantom Pain, it's just kind of weird. It would be kind of weird if your Mother Base was just annihilated out of nowhere, and if you got to massacre your own soldiers. I don't know if that's what Kojima is going for, but it's a pretty brutal scene, and I find it interesting that we see Big Boss's various phases. We see him in his Ground Zeroes form, and then he changes to his post-coma form where his horn isn't quite as extruded, and then we see him in his final demonic form where he is kind of blood splattered everywhere. His face is just full of blood. He has the horn just extruding all the way out. He really looks like the devil. He really looks like a demon. He looks like an ogre, so to speak, Project Ogre. And so that's really interesting right there. I don't know what that's trying to show, if that's trying to represent that Big Boss is gonna experience loss in the same way that he did in Ground Zeroes, where MSF was just decimated. Maybe that's kind of the message that this particular scene is going for. I'm not sure. Again, a lot of vague things going on here, so I'm gonna have to analyze this further before I can make a proper conclusion. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, as this happens, we hear Skullface sort of giving a monologue, and he talks about events transpiring that change his thoughts on certain things, change his personality, and change how he sees right and wrong. And what's funny, or what's interesting, is that this goes in line with what Big Boss is going through in Phantom Pain. He, stuff happened, shit happened with MSF's downfall and all his comrades, getting blown to smithereens. I mean, he's experienced loss like no other. And because of that, his train of thought has changed, his personality has changed, how he sees right and wrong has changed. So I find that parallel between Skullface and Big Boss really interesting. Maybe that's why they, at one point, partner up. Maybe they have this common history and a common interest in killing Zero, something along those lines. I can only speculate at this point, but very interesting stuff indeed. Next, I want to talk about some of the graphical changes that we saw in the trailer. We see a lot of familiar scenes from previous trailers and previous footage, but they have like a different filter to them. Some of the camera movements are a little different, and I personally think it looks better. It's got this more atmospheric look to it, which I really like. And a big part of it might have to do with the day and night cycle. The game actually, when a cutscene plays, if you completed a mission at night, then the cutscene that follows will be at night, etc. So, depending on what time of the day the cutscene plays, the lighting is going to be different. The graphics are going to be a little different. So that's something to keep in mind. That's something that might have come into play here. And then we see Big Boss interacting with Code Talker, which is quite interesting as well. I mean, the whole trailer is interesting. I'm going to use the word interesting a lot. We see him kind of in this weird mode where he is kind of like an apprentice to a sage kind of thing. He shows this really wise-looking old man, this what looks like a switchblade or a knife, and it looks like some crazy juju shit is going on there with all the candles in the background. Not exactly sure what that is because we know so little about Code Talker, but that's one of the characters that we haven't seen a lot of yet, and we got to see a better glimpse of that character. But still, there's nothing that I can say about Code Talker yet because literally we know nothing about the guy, what his purpose is in the story, and what have you. We know about Skullface. We kind of know about Eli because, I mean, he's obviously Liquid. We know about Quiet, but Code Talker is still sort of a giant question mark. So I'll leave it at that. And then we get to see a scene. It's very brief, but if you pause at the right moment, you will see that Kaz is blind. You see him take off his glasses, or actually his eyes are shut, and then he opens them, and you see his eyes, his pupils have no color. That obviously means that he's blind. But what's interesting is that he doesn't act like it. You know, blind people, they can't make eye contact, right? They kind of, it seems like they're looking to nowhere. They're just kind of, when they talk to you, they don't exactly know where your eyes are because they're blind. So they'll kind of look not exactly to your direction. That isn't something that seems to be the case with Kaz. He acts like he isn't blind. So I don't know how he's pulling this off. He makes eye contact. He seems to know where everything is. But yeah, he's blind. So he didn't just lose an arm and a leg. He lost his eyes. I mean, this guy has it rough. No wonder he is so pissed. And no wonder he wants revenge against Cypher, who he believes did all of this. I mean, who knows what the plot really is about, you know, who's the real antagonist or whatever, but that's what he believes, and seems like a fair assumption to make. Next, at 2 minutes and 5 seconds in the trailer, you get to hear Zero. And it's obviously not the same voice actor as the one from MGS3. We kind of heard about that debacle from Twitter. You know, the original Zero, he tweeted that I would reprise my role if Konami offered a decent, a decent wage for my work, or something along those lines. So they got a new voice actor, and I guess it kind of makes sense. This Zero sounds, he sounds a bit older, and that kind of makes sense. His voice is a little gruffer. It's less sort of, you know, posh British, and it's sort of more down here. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense, but Jesus. But that's the impression that I got. But that's definitely Zero, and I know because, first of all, the accent is clearly British, and second of all, this voice talks about, it talks about fulfilling the will of the boss and making the world whole again. That's Cypher right there, you know, with the Patriots. Sorry about the crying baby, but with the Patriots, that's why he created it. He wants to unify the world and have it under this unified control and yada, yada, yada. So it's clearly him. There is no doubt in my mind. And as he talks, we get to see Peace Walker's AI make a return, that AI can, whatever you want to call it, that giant freaking can that the mechs in Peace Walker used as AI. And it's hard to say which AI specifically this is. I don't know if this is a new one that maybe Huey constructed for him, for a Big Boss, or if it's one that they retrieved from the Peace Walker incident. But maybe this is the boss's AI that they retrieved. And the reason I say this is because they show this scene as Zero is talking about fulfilling the will of the boss. And I'm sure that was a conscious decision. So maybe this AI is the boss's AI that they retrieved, that they plan to modify somehow or revive. Who knows? But the possibilities are endless. And who knows how this AI will come into play. Probably it will be integrated in the Metal Gear that they build. And yes, I think there is going to be a Metal Gear construction system, but I'll get to that later. And then after that, we get to see a scene in which Paz is perfectly healthy. What the hell is she doing here? How is she alive? I'm pretty sure I saw very clearly a bomb blow up from inside her. So how she is alive, I have no idea. And what's funny is that she has that same scar where the bomb was implanted. So I don't know if this is maybe some kind of flashback, some kind of dream state, hallucination or something, some kind of, maybe Big Boss is reminiscing something, he's thinking about what could have been, I don't know. But it's weird, it's trippy. I don't know how she made it out alive, but it's good to see her again. So it looks like Tara Strong will make a return. If it's brief or not, I don't know, but she'll definitely return, maybe provide her voice a little bit for Paz with full-grown hair this time. She looks fantastic. She looks like, she's a little older, definitely, than in Peace Walker and in Ground Zeroes, which is nice, but it looks just like her, and she looks awesome. She looks amazing in the Fox engine. So, yeah, that's that. I don't know. Let me know your theories in the comments below. I have no idea what is happening with Paz being alive. So, that's that. Moving on, let's talk about the scene where Big Boss pulls a blanket from the African man, and we see something weird happening to the guy's skin. And what I'm thinking is either it's some kind of, I don't know, tumor, some kind of unknown virus condition, maybe something that Metal Gear made up, some kind of weaponized virus or chemical. Or it's just burn marks. Maybe he got burned in that region, but the way it looks, just the color of it makes me think it's definitely something else. Burn marks have a very distinct sort of look. We saw in the E3 2014 trailer all the African child soldiers scorched, and they actually looked like they were scorched. This guy, it looks like some kind of weird tumor. No idea what that's about, but I'm sure we'll learn about that in the game. Also, let me know in the comments below. Again, a lot of vague stuff. I can't just tell you what specifically what this stuff is because I don't know, and I'm gonna have to look into it further. So yeah, that's that. Moving on, female skulls. That really surprised me. We saw the classic Kojima boob shots, and then we see them sort of appear out of nowhere, and they are female skulls. They have the markings on their head, on the forehead, and they look scary. I mean, they are really sexy, but they are really scary. They're really creepy, especially with the way they walk, like, I don't know, Samara from The Ring or Alma Wade from Fear. I don't know, they have this weird kind of glitchy kind of walk to them, like the male versions of the skulls. Now, notice how the way they reappear, their powers, their whatever it is, invisibility, whatever it is, it's very similar to Quiet's. The particle effects in particular are very, very similar. So this got me thinking, what if Quiet was a victim of this experiment, or whatever you want to call it? What if she was supposed to be turned into a skull but she somehow managed to run away. So they were in the middle of the process. They infused these powers in her, but she maybe got away before they brainwashed her and turned her into a zombie. That's what I'm thinking, because the way their powers look very similar. And a lot of people from the MGS5 preview event have noted similarities between the Skull's powers and Quiet's powers in terms of visual. So maybe Quiet is sort of a renegade of this super soldier experiment, whatever you want to call it. Food for thought, I don't know, that's just me theorizing. And then we get to see Big Boss kind of making an escape, and a bunch of rocks lifting from the ground. I'm gonna assume that this is either some power from Quiet that we were not made aware of, or it's a boss that we have not been shown yet, some kind of boss battle that we haven't been shown yet. It looks amazing though, it looks super thrilling. Big Boss, he definitely looks like he's having a hard time there. He looks pretty creeped out there, and I would be too if a bunch of rocks started chasing me, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. If you have any thoughts, again, let me know in the comments below, but it was very much noteworthy. Next up, so we see Eli, who is obviously Liquid, writing Metal Gear, and that was just so nostalgic. Maybe we will hear him say "father" instead of "brother" or something along those lines. I don't know, but he had that same cocky smile, like, you know, yeah, I am riding this bitch and I'm gonna kick your ass. You know, that attitude, he had that, you know, that's awesome to see. Now, the Metal Gear itself looks a lot like Rex, but I don't think it is the Rex. It's got a thinner profile if you sort of compare it to Rex. I would say that it's kind of like if Rex and Zeke had a baby. I think it's Zeke with Rex's head. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. Again, a lot of mysteries, and I like that it's all mysteries. I don't want everything spoiled before the game is out, but I don't think it's Rex. Definitely not Rex. I think it is literally a sort of a combination of Zeke and Rex, where they built Rex's head and then they attached it onto Zeke. You know, in Peace Walker, I believe you could change Zeke's head. So I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with that. It's something along those lines. So, yeah, that's that. And sorry if this is dragging on. I'm talking really slowly because, again, I'm exhausted. But the show must go on, I suppose. In the next scene, we get to see Big Boss wear a badass sort of battle armor. That's pretty cool. So it looks like the Solid Snake sneaking suit. That's what I call it, because, you know, as everyone noticed, the sneaking suit looks a lot like the one that Solid Snake wore in Shadow Moses. But then we have this sort of battle version of that, and it's got this awesome look to it. And I'm sure it has its own set of effects. The sneaking suit reduces the amount of noise that you make, or I think it cancels out any footstep noises, and also it reduces damage. The battle armor, I'm sure it'll reduce a lot of damage, and maybe it'll add some extra perks for people who like to go for an action-based play style. Who knows? Now, in that scene, interesting to note is the Metal Gear in the background, which pretty much confirms that Peace Walker's Metal Gear creation will make a return. I think it's pretty much a done deal that you, the player, will be making a Metal Gear, and that's awesome. Now, also interesting is that this Metal Gear's profile resembles Ray. I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like a sort of more polygonal, if that makes sense, like rough edges version of Ray. You know, instead of the curves, we see a lot of jagged edges. But it has that same sort of profile. If we compare the two Metal Gears, you will see what I'm talking about. So more references to future games. I'm sure we'll see tons of Easter eggs and references and things that will tie together the Solid Snake saga with the Big Boss saga. And one last thing that happens in that scene is Skullface makes an appearance. So the two will definitely partner at some point. And again, it may have to do with sort of the similar history that they share, or it may have to do with the common goal of destroying and annihilating and killing Cypher, Zero. It's all up in the air at this point. Last but not least, we get an awesome shot of Eli and David, aka Liquid and Solid. There's no doubt that it's them. It's pretty blatantly stated. Not only are they clearly twins, they have literally almost identical faces, almost identical haircuts, but also during the shot, we hear Big Boss with his Kiefer Sutherland voice say, "Les enfants terribles," Zero called it. What else do you need? Pretty obvious reference. It's them. Liquid and Solid, folks, in their childhood. Done deal, confirmed. Now, whether David Hayter will make a return, I'm not going to comment on that. I personally, let's comment on that. Fuck it. I don't think so. Unless the game skips a few years, maybe towards the end, they skip ahead in timeline to bridge that gap or whatever, then maybe we will see a grown-up version of Solid and Liquid, and we will see their original actors reprise the roles. But if the game really only takes place in 1984, then, they're kids. David, he's a great actor, but he can't do the voice of a kid. He can't pull that off. He's got the gruffness to him, but he can't go, 10 octaves higher or whatever. So it depends on what Phantom Pain does with the story and the timeline. If we do skip ahead, we might see David. If it is just 1984, then I don't think so. But, I don't really... It's certainly possible that we will see sort of a timeline, a skip in years. So, maybe now that I think about it, it's not so improbable that we will see hear David Hayter say one or two lines as Solid Snake, kept you waiting, huh? Blackout, end game, something along those lines. We'll see what happens, but, at least we know Solid and Liquid, the children of, the terrible children, they will most certainly make an appearance in the game, and a lot earlier than we thought. A lot of people thought, okay, we'll see Eli, but Solid Snake, he will probably show up, when towards the end of the game. But not so. It seems that both will play a pretty pivotal role in the story, and I cannot wait to see how that unfolds. And I gotta go back and sort of refresh myself on the lore, see how this sort of fits in the timeline that's already been established, because I think there are some discrepancies with Eli and David meeting so early, and them meeting Big Boss so early. I could be wrong about that. Again, I'm exhausted. I can't think right now, and I'm not a computer. I can't just completely have everything 100% memorized. I'll forget one or two things from time to time. But let me know your theories in the comments below. You guys are probably less tired than I am, so you guys will be in a better state of mind to let me know some of your theories, which will probably be better than mine until I dive into the trailer and really analyze it. But let me know in the comments below, and let me know just anything that I could use for the analysis. Just if you have anything cool, any cool theories, anything cool that you notice, anything, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make the most thorough analysis possible. And it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to really dissect this trailer. It's going to be a good one. And with that, I would like to end this first impressions video. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I apologize for the sort of low quality format, this kind of, ghetto sort of style of doing this. What else can I do while I'm waiting for my plane? In the meantime, again, let me know in the comments below your thoughts and whatever. And when I get to LA, I'll cover all things Metal Gear that may or may not show up there. I think there might be a few cool surprises. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Young out.